everybody, Michaela here. Thanks for joining me for another process video here on my YouTube channel. Today I am doing something a little different. I am doing another installment of my Wildcard Wednesday series. And it's been at least a month since my last Wildcard Wednesday episode, just because I've been working so much more on scrapbooking, actual layouts and cards. But I decided to just take a few minutes and play with some new stamps that I got from Prima Marketing Company, and they are the flower stamp layering flowers. That's what they're called. And so now I'm just using this set that I got, and again, I'm just, kind of experimenting because I had just got them when I was making this, and I'm using that Ranger dye ink in the, let me see real quick what it is. It's the bubblegum pink, and that is, I actually really like it. I was a little worried that it would be like too light of a pink, but it's actually, I don't know if the video is going to show it enough, but it isn't very light. It's like just the right shade, where it's not like in your face pink and it's not like so pale you have to really look for it. So I was very happy with that because that was the first dye ink pad from Ranger that I had used. I've tried distress inks, and I love my distress inks, but I hadn't tried one of these, and I have it in, I got the bubblegum pink, the cherry, and a blue color. I don't remember what that one was called. So now I'm just doing some layering, and I knew that I wanted to do some embossing on this particular card. So now I'm going to do that third layer of this stamp with some Versamark ink, and then you see that I just pulled out that American Crafts, I believe it's the Wow embossing powder. Yeah, the Wow embossing powder in silver. So now I'm just prepping that, and I'm going to put the powder on it, and I just pulled out my coffee filters there that I use to collect all the powders and then just easily dump it back into the container without losing too much. So I can't say that I don't lose any, because I have had a couple of incidents where I drop it all over the craft mat. It's not fun, but the coffee filter does help a lot. And so now I'm just warming up my heat tool here, and it's very important whenever you're embossing that you really let it get pretty warm before you bring it to your paper so that it reduces the warping. So now you see me bring it there, and it's melting pretty fast because I had waited to heat it up. And I used to not wait at all. Like, as it was warming up, I would just be pointing at the page, and then I would get upset because it warped. And then it was only when I figured it out, I was like, oh, it's not a joke that you should warm it up away from the page. So now you're seeing me just lift that coffee filter out and then dump it right in there. And I wasn't sure what exactly I wanted to do for the layout. I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do for the layout of the card. I just knew that I wanted to use these stamps, and that's pretty much, I was completely making the rest up as I went along. And so now I'm just, before I waited too long, I just got out some baby wipes, and I'm going over the stamps that I had already used. And I just tried this new brand of baby wipes, and I'm not happy with them. I don't like the quality. They're like very, like thin, not even thin. They leave a lot of flakes, and I'm just very unhappy with them. So luckily I got the small the small package, so good experiment. And I'm gonna go back to my Walgreens brand baby wipes. I get them, I think it's like 120 for $1.50, I think, something like that. It's a really good deal, and I just love the quality of it. So now at this point I'm coming in with a sentiment stamp that I'm going to use, and that one just says thanks very much, and you see right there that it's part of that Fisker stamp set. And I'm going to go back and forth. Yeah, this was the one that I was confused on, because I was originally going to only do 2 flowers and use a bigger sentiment, and I went back and, again, I just couldn't decide. So, but in the end, I will end up using that thanks so very much sentiment in the center with more flower detail than a bold sentiment, which that round or more oval shaped stamp that I have on the card right now that I was considering using, it says friendship is not one big thing, it's a million little things. And now I'm just stamping that other flower with the Hero Arch shadow ink. And I'm just being careful to make sure that I put enough force on there to really transfer all the ink. So now I'm just wiping that off real quick, and I believe I do some more embossing. I believe I embossed both of those two major flowers, the top and the bottom, and I'm trying to decide something. I'm not sure. I can't remember. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I was trying to figure out, because the way that the stamp set comes, like you saw there at the beginning of the video, they're all just kind of laid out, so I was trying to figure out which particular stamp went where, which went with flower. That's what I'm painfully trying to say and explain. So now I'm going to just put that center flower. I don't actually know what those are called. The center of the flower, I'm sure they have a real name, but I don't know it. In that Studio G pink, I'm going to put that in the center, and then I'm going to come in with some more Versamark ink and the exterior detail that's still on the left side of the card waiting for me to stamp. I'm going to do in Versamark ink, and instead of doing silver again though, I wanted it to be a little different, so I end up going in with some white ink. White embossing powder, and I believe, yeah, that one, the white embossing powder that I used was also American Crafts, like the silver. And so I'm just going to get my coffee filters and the powder, and then I'm just going to put that on there. And one thing that I will note that I found out in making this card was that it's best to kind of wait you don't have to wait a long time, but just to wait a few minutes between stamping the colors and stamping Versamark and then putting embossing powder on it. Because even though it's not Versamark ink, if the wet ink, like the color ink, is still wet enough, the embossing powder will stick to it, and it can get in places that you obviously aren't trying to get it in. So that was my my lesson, was to just wait, a minute or two until it's dry, the coloring's dry to the touch, before going in with the Versamark ink and the embossing powder. And so I'm not sure what I'm doing. Oh, I was waiting for the heat tool to warm up again. And so now you can just see that white kind of forming there. And I don't know why I didn't do this right in front of the camera so you could see it. That wasn't very nice of me. So now I'm just trying to do that technique there. Oh, there we go. So I guess it wasn't warming up. I don't know what that was all about. But so now you're going to see that there. And I got this stamp set and another one of the Prima Layering Flower stamp sets, and I absolutely love them. They're such good quality stamps. They're very thick. They really leave a great impression on any type of paper. I've used them on note cards, I've used them on scrapbooking paper, cardstock, and I've been really happy with how the quality's been so far. And so, yeah, this is the point where I decide to use that Thanks embossing set. Yeah, it's Thanks stamp set, and I'm gonna just use that color box black ink. And whenever I'm using that black ink for sentiments, I like to just tap it a few times on the ink just to make sure that there's no spots that might have not been covered, and then have a gap there in the black. I've had that happen a lot. I mean, it's not a big deal just because it's black, so you can go in with some sort of a pen or a marker and kind of carefully fill it in, but you could easily mess it up and smear it or smudge or something, and then you'd have ruined your card. So, and I know that I would absolutely have that happen to me, so I think it's just easier to tap the ink a few times. And now I'm trying this Hampton Arts Gold Pigment ink, and I have this ink in gold that you're seeing and silver, and I haven't used it in, I don't know, I want to say 2-3 months, because I was not happy with it. I bought it at Joann's. It was on I forgot. I used a coupon. It wasn't on sale. I used a coupon on them, and I got home and tried them, and I must have just pressed and pressed and pressed stamps into this ink, and I wasn't getting hardly any visible glitter or coloring at all. So I was really mad. I almost even considered returning them because I were literally brand new stamps out of the packing, and I couldn't get anything from them. So I went, before I did that though, I went online to, I think it was the scrapbook.com forum, and I tried to look up what I could, and a lot of people said, well, try storing your stamp upside down if they're dry. Okay. And so I did that, and I stored it, and I found that it was better. That was maybe, I don't know, maybe 2-3 weeks after I read that. I left it upside down, literally 2-3 weeks upside down, and it was pretty good. And now it's been, like I said, I hadn't used them in a while, which is probably not a good thing, I should be admitting. But I was really happy now with the quality of them. I don't think you can see it with the light right here, but I'm going to zoom in and have some close-up pictures, and you'll see the detail that I left. And I just did the, use that silver and gold ink for, like, outlines, just add some dimension to the background in, with the leaf and another flower outline, one of those stamps. And so that's going to pretty much do it for the layout. I didn't add any kind of embellishments or stickers or rhinestones or anything like that. I wanted to keep it, relatively flat for mailing. And so now I'm just trying to use up doing like third and second generation stamping with the leaf, just to use up any ink. And so at the end, all in all, I was very happy with how this card came out, and I love the Prima stamps. So if you are considering getting some layering stamps, I highly recommend them. And I just want to thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing.